Hello and very welcome everyone to this session of the Modern History Part 9. In today's session, we are going to discuss the topic that we have not covered so far in our sessions, and we will see the type of things we need to understand from this topic, and we will also take a look at the things that are essential for our understanding, and we could expect some questions from that particular topic. So let's start. Before we start, the images, text, and other materials used in our presentation are for educational purpose only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners. If you are the owner and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the same. So first we are going to discuss is about the Governor Generals of Bengal. So before I start, so there were certain positions that you need to know. One was Governor of Bengal, then it was replaced by Governor General of Bengal, then Governor General of India, and then Viceroy. And finally, Viceroy was again replaced by the Governor General of Independent India. And finally, in 1950, all these positions were vanished, and the position that was created was President. So let's start. So first one we are going to discuss is about Warren Hastings. That was the first Governor General of Bengal also. He was from 1774 to 1785. Before Warren Hastings became the Governor General of Bengal, he was also the last Governor of Bengal. And if we talk about who was the first Governor of Bengal, so that was Robert Clive. Robert Clive became after the Battle of Plassey. And Robert Clive was also became two times the Governor of Bengal, and he was the one who is known for the creating the foundation of British Empire in India. Now let's talk about Warren Hastings. So first one is he became the first Governor General of Bengal after enactment of Regulating Act of 1773. So if we talk about him, the Warren Hastings, so after the 1773 Regulating Act came, under that the Governor of Bengal was replaced with the Governor General of Bengal, and he was given the power over the Governor of Madras and Governor of Bombay as well. And that is why the name was changed. He is considered as the father of the judicial services in India because at that time the first Supreme Court of India was established in 1774 in Calcutta. The first judge appointed of that court was Eliza Impe. And if we talk about this Act of 1773, so this was the first constitution of India at that time. And if we talk about regulating acts, so they replaced the dual form of government and ended the dual form of government of the East India Company. And basically, they also established the Court of Directors to take care about the trade and political scenarios in our country, that is India. And apart from that, the regulating act was basically there implemented for another 20 years. That means the next plan or next act will came in 1793. And before 1793 there was also another act came, that was the Pitt's India Act. I hope you remember, in one session we talked about that. And that came in 1784. It was a kind of an amendment in the 1773 regulating act. The first Anglo-Maratha War and Treaty of Salbai all happened during the time of Warren Hastings. There was a time when one of the member of the family of Maratha, Ragabo, famously known as Ragabo and also known as Raghunath Rao, he wanted help from the Britishers, so against his own family, because he wanted to become Peshwa. And at that time, Nana Fadnavis was basically the one who was controlling the position of Peshwa as well. And because of that, he placed Savai Madhav Rao, and Raghunath Rao was against it. So Raghunath Rao asked for help from the Britishers, and Britishers helped. And during that time, the first Anglo-Maratha War happened. And finally, Treaty of Salbai happened, in which Maratha were particularly allying with the Britishers against the Mysore. And also, the Britishers also accepted Savai Madhav Rao as the new Peshwa of Maratha. Then Rohilla War of 1784 also happened during that time, and this was another scenario because Rohillas were also the one who were controlling the central region of India at that time. Then Pitt's India Act of 1784, as I was telling you, and it came when the Prime Minister of Britain was William Pitts. Then the foundation of Asiatic Society with William Jones in 1784 happened. And if we talk about this Asiatic Society, so later it becomes that organization that particularly craved out everything of the history of India, of the ancient history, and apart from that also the related things of the history of our country. And he was the only governor general against whom impeachment proceedings were initiated in England. So there were a lot of corruptions and bribery cases were marked against the officials of his subordinates and also against him, and that is why the impeachment process was started against him. Remember one point also that the first governor of Bengal, that was Robert Clive, he was also recognized as the one who committed suicide. So that is also the point that you can write down. Now, after Warren Hastings, another very important Governor General of Bengal who came was Lord Cornwallis, and he came in 1786 to 1793. But he came on some conditions because he wanted to have particular powers, and after only those powers were given, he came as a Governor General. So he introduced civil services in India, and that is the first point that you should always remember because he is known as the father of civil services in India. He introduced permanent settlements in Bengal and Bihar in 1793. But do remember one thing that at that time the civil services were not open for Indian people. They were made open in 1853 during the time of Lord Dalhousie. If we talk about the permanent settlements, so this was the type of a system which was created for the land revenue basis, and total three types of systems were created by the Britishers during their whole time: permanent settlement, then Raitwadi, then Mahalwadi. Permanent settlement was basically implemented in Bengal and Bihar region in 1793. Under this, the zamindars are particularly made responsible to collect the revenue, and they have to collect the revenue in 11 factions. 1 out of 11 factions they can keep with themselves, and 10 out of 11 factions they have to submit to the Britishers before sunset every month. And if they are failed in doing so, so the sunset the sun on their head will fall or will set. That is why the permanent settlement system is also known as the sunset law. He also introduced the Cornwallis Code, incorporating several judicial reforms and the separation of revenue administration and civil administration. So different type of judicial reforms happened at that time. And if we also talk about the particular services that were introduced at that time, and apart from that, if we talk about Cornwallis Code, so under Cornwallis Code, he implemented the particular procedures on which basis the revenue and civil administration will run. Then the Third Anglo-Mysore War also happened in 1790 to 1792, and the Treaty of Srirangpattam or Srirangpatnam happened also, under which the Tipu Sultan was forced to provide the war indemnity to the Britishers, and apart from that, he also had to provide his territory, a lot of territories of Mysore, to the Marathas, Hyderabad, and Britishers. Let's read further. Now came Sir John Shore. He remained from 1793 to 1798. And the most important thing he introduced was he was famous for his policy of non-intervention. So this was the time of 1793 to 1798 that he particularly followed this policy that they will not intervene into any kind of disputes of the local kings. So that policy was introduced by him. Then Battle of Kharda, 1795, between Jaipur and Sambhalpur, between Nizam and Maratha Empire, in which Nizam was badly defeated, happened, and that happened during the time of John Shore. Then came Lord Richard Wellesley, and you can clearly see that Nizam defeated in this battle, and that is why Nizam became one of the person who adopted the subsidiary alliance of the Britishers as soon as possible. And the subsidiary alliance was brought by Lord Wellesley, 1798 to 1805. Let's read about him. So first point, he introduced the subsidiary alliance system 1798 to bring Indian states under control of British power. So firstly, do remember one thing, that subsidiary alliance system was officially introduced by Lord Wellesley. But if we talk about history and historical facts, then do remember that this system was first idealized or first implemented by Dupleix. I hope you remember Dupleix from the Second Carnatic War. So he was the person who introduced this thing, but officially it was introduced by Lord Wellesley. And certain kingdoms adopted this policy, like Nizam of Hyderabad. Then, if we talk about Awadh, and after that Mysore, when Tipu Sultan died and Mysore came into the hand of Wodeyar dynasty, so they adopted subsidiary alliance. After that, in 1802, the Peshwa Bajirao II also adopted this system, and that became one of the reasons that Britishers started intervening into the Confederation of Marathas, and that led to the fall of Maratha Empire in 1805. Then, if we talk about the founded the Fort Williams College at Calcutta, 1800. So first of all, you need to understand that Fort Williams is different thing, but Fort Williams College is different thing. Fort Williams was basically started under the establishment around 1690s, and after that, Fort William College was basically founded by Lord Wellesley in Calcutta in 1800. Then came Sir George Burlow, but before that, Lord Wellesley also fought the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, and in that Tipu Sultan died. And after that, the Mysore kingdom was transferred to the Wodeyar dynasty, who were the real particular people who got the Mysore before Hyder Ali. Now, Sir George Burlow, 1805 to 1807. Sepoy Mutiny at Vellore, 1806. So if we talk about the Sepoy Mutiny, so I already told you during the time when I told you about revolt of 1857 that Sepoy Mutiny of Vellore was because the Britishers were restricting the Indian sepoys, either Hindu or Muslims, from certain religious rituals that they used to do during the time they are the part of military, and that is why if we talk about the sepoys, so they revolted and that became the Sepoy Mutiny at Vellore, and it became the first Sepoy Mutiny of India at that time. Then Lord Minto first, 1807 to 1813. Let's talk about him also. Do remember we have two Mintos. One is Minto 1 and one is Minto 2nd. Minto 2nd was the person under whom the Model Minto reforms came. Okay, we will talk about him later. First of all, Minto 1, 1807 to 1813, signed the Treaty of Amritsar in 1809 with Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Very important point, guys. This is the treaty under which the empire was kind of distributed between the Sikh Empire and the British Empire. And Satluj River was demarcated as a boundary between both the empires. Above Satluj River, the Sikh Empire was particularly expanded, and below the Satluj River, the Britishers were controlling the regions. And it remained a treaty that was not particularly abolished or particularly no one was able to bypass this treaty, either Britishers or Sikh Empire, until Maharaja Ranjit Singh died. Then Lord Francis Hastings, 1813 to 1823, and he is a very important personality because you can see clearly that for a very long time he holded this post. And another thing is that during his time only the Charter Act of 1813 came. So Anglo-Nepal War 1814 to 1816 and a Treaty of Sagoli 1816 happened, and under that, as we can already see that Britishers are not intervening into the Sikh Empire, so they started expanding their empire towards other side like Nepal and other things. Military operations to suppress Pindaris, that also happened during his time, and later Pindaris along with Marathas tried to capture their regions once again from the Britishers but failed, and Third Anglo-Maratha War. Then Bombay turned into the capital of Bombay Presidency in 1819 after the Maratha rout in the Anglo-Maratha War. So after the Third Anglo-Maratha War, the Peshwa Bajirao II, who was trying to get his power back, he was deported from the Pune side towards the Kanpur side, and he was placed in Kanpur in Bithur, and that is the place where he remained as a pensioner, and his whole family was also remained there. And let's read further. Establishment of Rayatwadi system by Thomas Munro, Governor of Madras in 1820, Treaty with Scindia 1817. So if we talk about the Rayatwadi system, so this is another type of system similar to the permanent settlement, but this time the tax collection will not be done by any kind of zamidar or any other thing, but that will be done by a Rayat. What is Rayat? Rayat is the name, is a particular word that is used for peasants. That means that now the tax collection will be done directly from the farmers. So that is Rayatwadi system, and Rayatwadi system was implemented in the areas of Madras and Bombay. And it was basically implemented in 1820, and then treaty with Scindia also happened in 1817. Scindias, I hope you remember, were the people who were the part of confederation of Marathas, and they were taking care of Gwalior, and they also made a treaty with the Britishers. Then strife with Pindaris. So basically Pindaris, I already told you, they were revolting against the Britishers, and finally the Pindaris were also controlled by the Britishers during this time. And now let's talk about Lord Amherst. He was the Governor General of Bengal from 1823 to 1828. And the first Anglo-Burma War happened during his time from 1824 to 1826. Then further we have to read Lord William Bentinck. William Bentinck is one of the most important one, 1828 to 1835. He became the first Governor General of India because during his time the 1833 Charter Act came, and in that the Governor General of Bengal was now replaced with Governor General of India, and now the powers are also increased, and also a law member was added. Let's read further. So by the Charter Act of 1833, the Governor General of Bengal became the Governor General of India. Thus, Bentinck became the first Governor General of India and also the last Governor General of Bengal. Abolition of Sati, very important. In 1829, this happened after Rajaram Mohan Roy's plea that this should be abolished. Finally, William Bentinck abolished the Sati practice under the Regulating Act that he passed, and Rajaram Mohan Roy played a crucial role in that. And do remember that apart from that, suppression of thuggy was also done in 1830. Means a particular type of people were being popularized at that time, who were basically famous for becoming a thugs, and they were looting basically the Britishers. But Britishers created a kind of a story that these are very harmful for the Indians as well. So that is why they created this law of the suppression of thuggy, and under that they killed a lot of people who are involved in that kind of things. And this was done with the help of Colonel Sliman. Remember that. This can be asked directly. He established the first medical college in Calcutta. Another fact you need to remember. Then came the Charles Metcalfe. But before I read further, so under William Bentinck, the first law member was also added under the 1833 Charter Act, and Lord Macaulay became the first law member of the Council of Governor General of India, and he was the one who was responsible for creating English education important in our country, and on his recommendation, English education replaced the Persian language as an official language in India. Now comes Charles Metcalfe, 1835 to 1836. So he is known as the liberator of Indian press. Very important, and directly you can see his time period. Because of this particular type of things he introduced, he was called back in a very short period of time. So that was Charles Metcalfe. Then Lord Auckland, famously known as the Folly Auckland, because he, even after some warnings given to him, he attacked on Afghan and faced a very bad defeat. So he was famously known as the Auckland Folly. So 1836 to 1842, let's read about him. So first Anglo-Afghan War happened in 1836 to 1842, and during this time he faced a lot of defeat and lot of expenditure were done against the Afghans. Then Lord Allan Borrow, he became the Governor General of India from 1842 to 1844, and he was the one who put an end on the slavery system in 1843 finally. Annexation of Sindh happened in 1843. That was important according to the Britishers, because that is the only place that is kind of in a free way, and will be the only place where Russia can impact and create their own colony. So that is why annexation of Sindh was important. Then came Lord Hardinge I, 1844 to 1848. First Anglo-Sikh War and Treaty of Lahore 1846. So we all know that after the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, Britishers were the one who intervened into the Sikh Empire and they started creating wars with Sikh Empire, and that is why the first Anglo-Sikh War happened. And finally, Treaty of Lahore happened. Under the Treaty of Lahore, the Kohinoor diamond was given to the Britishers. Social reforms, including abolition of female infanticide and human sacrifice, was also implemented. And the last ruler of Sikh Empire, Dalip Singh, was also deported from here in India towards Britain, where he remained under the asylum of the Queen Victoria. Now let's read about Viceroy by the Government of India Act 1858. So now is the time when the Governor General of India was replaced by Viceroys. So let's read about them also. So first one was Lord Canning, and he remained from 1857 to 1863, 62. Sorry, Lord Canning was here from 1857 to 1862. But if I tell you more about him, so his time period was from 1856 to 1862. Firstly, from 1856 to 1858, he was the Governor General of India, the last Governor General of India also. And after 1858, Government of India Act came, so he became the Viceroy. And after that, from 1858 to 1862, he remained as the Viceroy. So the timing will be 1856 to 1862. And do remember, he was the last Governor General of India and the first Viceroy of India. At that time, the Prime Minister was Lord Palmerston. The revolt of 1857 held, and because of which the East India Company was abolished, and all the officials will now be transferred under the control of British Empire, and that is why the name also changed as a Viceroy. Proclamation of Queen Victoria and transfer of Indian administration to British Crown. So as I was telling you, so East India Company was abolished, British Raj was started, and from 1858 to 1947, Britishers ruled with the help of British Raj under the name of British Raj, and the Queen of Britain became the Empress of India. Now, Indian Penal Code also passed under him, that is in 1860. Recently, in 2023, the Indian Penal Code is also replaced by the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, and Code of Criminal Procedure was also introduced in 1861, which was also recently replaced in 2023. And these are the two things that were introduced during the time of Lord Canning. Remember that. Now, official and of Doctrine of Lapse happened in 1859. Doctrine of Lapse was introduced by Lord Dalhousie in 1848, and under this, if any king died and he did not have any higher after him, so the particular kingdom will go into the hand of Britishers. But Britishers, we all know, are very famous for betraying, so they also took care of some of the other kingdoms also, which have their own particular descendants, but they were particularly captured, like Awadh. Awadh was annexed on the basis of misgovernance. Then came Lord Elgin I, 1862 to 1863. During his reign, the Wahhabis revolted on the northwestern frontiers but were suppressed. So this particular thing happened during the time of Lord Elgin, and Wahhabi movement was started. Basically, it was a Muslim movement, a kind of a reform movement at that time. So, but was suppressed also by the Britishers. Then Sir John Lawrence, 1864 to 1869. The High Courts in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras established in 1862. It is written wrong here. It was 1862 that the Calcutta, Bombay and Madras High Courts were established. The first High Court was established of Calcutta. After some time, Bombay and Madras, but in the same year, 1862. Bhutan War. Yes, it is correct. Bhutan War happened in 1865 under the guidance of Sir John Lawrence. Then Lord Mayo. If we talk about Lord Mayo, so he is famous for two or three things. But firstly, he was here from 1869 to 1872. Established Mayo College in Ajmer and Rajkot College in Kathiawar. So these are the two particular colleges at that time that were introduced by Mayo. And even today, these colleges are there. And these colleges are famous for providing education to the princely estates children. The children who are belonging to the princely states, they are particularly eligible to study here because they had to go to London to study. For that purpose, the Mayo colleges were introduced. Then established the Statistical Survey of India, Department of Agriculture and Commerce. And do remember, the first census of India was conducted under the guidance of Lord Mayo, and that was a pilot project, and that was conducted in 1872. But officially, the census was started in our country in 1881 under the guidance of Lord Ripon. The first census of India, as I was saying, was conducted in 1872. Lord Northbrook, 1872 to 1876. But before we discuss about him, Lord Mayo also became the first viceroy who was killed during his visit to Andaman and Nicobar. When he was on a visit to Andaman and Nicobar in the cellular jail, and he was coming back from the visit and was about to sit in the boat or the ship. At that time, one of the prisoner attacked on him and killed him, and stabbed and killed him. So that is why he became the first viceroy who was killed. Then Lord Northbrook, 1872 to 1876. Kukka movement in Punjab. That is a kind of a reform movement happened in Punjab at that time by the Sikh community. So do remember that. Child marriage prohibited by passing Native Marriage Act of 1872. So you can clearly see that some of the things that were introduced by Britishers at that time were also good for the Indians. Then let's read further. Lord Lytton, 1876 to 1880. And Lord Lytton is famous for one thing, guys, that is particularly if we talk about that he introduced the Gagging Act, also known as the Vernacular Press Act. So let's read more. So first is the Famine Committee appointed under Sir Richard Starkey. So at that time, as under the guidance of Britishers, lot of famines were happening at that time because they were only focused on getting the revenue. So that is why the Famine Committee was introduced. That was under the guidance of Sir Richard Starkey. Then held the first Delhi Darbar in 1877, where the Queen was conferred with the title of Kesare Hind. So total 3 Delhi Darbars happened in India. The one is under him, one is under Curzon, and the last one was during the time of 1911 under Lord Hardinge. Then came the Vernacular Press Act passed in 1878, which was also called a Gagging Act, a kind of a restrictions on the vernacular press, means the local language press. Then Arms Act also came in 1878, who can keep the arms and ammunitions. The maximum age in Indian civil service lowered from 21 years to 19 years. This is because in 1853 Charter Act, the civil services exams were made open for Indians. And after that, Satyendra Nath Tagore became the first Indian who cleared the ICS exam. And after that, there are a lot of people at that time who were clearing these exams. So Britishers were afraid that it would be full of Indians. So that is why they lowered the age from 21 to 19. Then Lord Ripon, 1880 to 1884, he was another viceroy who came and famously known as the father of local self-government. So the first organized census held in 1881, the first Factory Act in 1881, then appointment of Hunter Commission on School Education in 1882, repealed Vernacular Press Act, hence Ripon is known as the liberator of Indian press. Acts relating to local self-government passed, known as the father of local self-government. Ilbert Bill controversy, and that controversy became the reason of because of which Lord Ripon was called back to by the Britishers. So now let's read one by one. So census, I already told you. First Factory Act basically was the reason, was the purpose behind this is to create a kind of a system of factories, that how much time will be the labor will be working and all the other type of things regarding the factories. Apart from that, appointment of Hunter Commission on School Education in 1882. Hunter Commission is related to two things. One is the education and one is the Jallianwala Bagh incident. So do not get confused between them. Then repealed the Vernacular Press Act that was introduced by Lord Lytton, and that is why Ripon is famously known as the liberator of Indian press. Then the local self-government, because he was the one who introduced the municipalities on the official basis all over India. The first municipality, if we talk about, was introduced in around 1660s when the first municipality was created during the time of Aurangzeb in Madras by the Britishers, because Madras was given on these to the Britishers. After that, Ilbert Bill controversy was the one where the Indian judges are given this responsibility or power that they can give punishment to the British prisoners as well. So that started the Ilbert Bill controversy at that time, and because of which Lord Ripon was called back. And as I was saying, he had to resign from his office as a result of Ilbert Bill controversy 1883 to 1884. Let's read further. Lord Dufferin 1884 to 1888, very important. Formation of Indian National Congress on 28 December 1885, and the first session held was in Bombay, Gokul Das Tejpal Sanskrit College. Then Third Burmese War happened in 1885-1886. Then Lord Lansdowne 1888 to 1894. And Durrant Commission was basically for the demarcation of boundary between India and Afghanistan, because Britishers were aware that they will not be able to create any kind of control on Afghan. That is why they created the Durrant boundary at that time. Factory Act 1891. So it was a second Factory Act. So first came in Lord Ripon and second came in Lord Lansdowne. Then Indian Council Act of 1892, very important. Under this, for the first time, the number of members of Indians were increased in the legislative councils, and also for the first time the elections were held. Then Lord Elgin II, and he was from 1894 to 1899. A famine committee under Lyell appointed. So another famine committee, one was appointed earlier under Starkey, and now another one under Lyell. Lord Curzon, very important, 1899 to 1905. A famine commission under Sir Anthony MacDonald and a police commissioner under Andrew Fraser appointed. So this is another famine committee at that time appointed under the time of Lord Curzon. Appointment of Universities Commission 1902 and the passing of Indian Universities Act of 1904. So these Universities Act came and universities were created in India at that time. Then the partition of Bengal, really important. So in July 1905, when Curzon was the viceroy, the partition of Bengal was declared. So this was the last thing that Curzon did before he was called back by the Britishers, and after that the partition of Bengal happened later in October 1905, on 16th October 1905, and against it the Swadeshi movement was started. Rabindranath Tagore wrote Amar Sonar Bangla, and Raksha Bandhan Divas was celebrated on 16th of August in Bengal. The Indian Coinage and Paper Currency Act, and apart from that the 1899 Ancient Monuments Preservation Act were passed, and the Currency Act came in 1904. So these are the two things happened, and after that the Currency Act was basically there to establish the currency system in our country. Then an archaeological department established at that time, and basically if we talk about it, so archaeological department was basically created so that all the type of things at that time that were buried under the soil can be craved out. And do remember that Indian Coinage Paper Currency Act, was in 1899, and Ancient Monument Preservation Act came in 1904. So these were passed. Then establishment of Department of Commerce and Industry also happened at that time. Now another one is the viceroys, and viceroys we have some more. Lord Minto II, 1905 to 1910. So Morley Minto reforms basically came during his time, and this was the most important one, the Indian Council Act 1909. Under this, the separate electorate for Muslims were given. That means only Muslims can vote on certain seats in legislative councils, and only Muslims can vote on them, on these seats. Formation of Muslim League, that was done in 1906 in Dhaka and that was the reason because of which Minto II became so influenced that he also gave a gift to the Muslim League. Surat split session of Congress of 1907, and this was the most important one. Under this, Congress was basically divided into two parts, moderates and extremists. And extremists were led by Lal Bal Pal and moderates were led by Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Then Swadeshi movement. Swadeshi movement basically happened in 1905 and that was against the partition of Bengal that was declared by Lord Curzon. Then Lord Hardinge. Hardinge is also very important, guys. From 1910 to 1916 he was there. Capital of India shifted from Calcutta to Delhi. So first important thing is that third Delhi Darbar was organized. George V came to India. Gateway of India was created or built, and after that, under the third Delhi Darbar, the George V declared two very important things. First is that the partition of Bengal will be null and void, and another one is that he transferred the capital from Calcutta to Delhi. The First World War was also started when the Viceroy in India was Hardinge. Partition of Bengal reversed in 1911 by George V. Establishment of Hindu Mahasabha by Madan Mohan Malviya in 1915. And Gadar Party formed at San Francisco in 1913. That was started by Lala Hardayal, Sohan Singh Bhakna and Kartar Singh Saraba. Nobel Prize in Literature for Rabindranath Tagore in 1913. And apart from that, Mahatma Gandhi also came back on 9th of January 1915 during the time Lord Hardinge was the Viceroy. Let's read more. So Lord Chelmsford, 1916 and 1921 to 1921 was another Viceroy. Lucknow session of Congress and Lucknow pact between Congress and Muslim League 1916, very important one. Ambika Charan Majumdar was the head president of this Congress session, and both the part of Congress and Muslim League came together. Formation of Sadler Commission for Education in 1917 for universities, for guidance of universities. Rowlatt Act 1919, under this a 2-year imprisonment can be given if you are doing something against the Britishers or British government. Then Saifuddin Chistu and Dr. Satyapal were arrested in Punjab. And after that, Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened on 13th April 1919. Launch of non-cooperation and Khilafat movement. Khilafat movement was started against the restriction of Khalifa or Caliph post in Turkey. It was started by Ali brothers, and non-cooperation movement was later started collectively on different reasons by Gandhiji in 1920. Montague-Chelmsford reforms. The 1919 Government of India Act was famously known as the Montague-Chelmsford reforms. Chelmsford was the Viceroy, we all know, and Montague was the Secretary of State. Another one, Lord Reading, 1921 to 1926, very important. Mopla Rebellion in Malabar Coast, 1921. Firstly, it was a fight between landlord and tenant and later became a riot between Hindu and Muslims. Chauri Chaura incident on 5th February 1922, and this incident happened in Gorakhpur, and under this a particular number of policemen were holded together and burned alive, and because of which Gandhiji took back the non-cooperation movement. Then Kakori train robbery, 1925. After the HRA was founded in 1924, Kakori train robbery was executed by the revolutionaries, and they particularly looted certain number of rupees from this train for buying arms and ammunitions. Later, Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan, Rajendra Lahiri and Roshan Singh were given death penalty. Establishment of Swaraj Party, 1923. Formation of Communist Party of India by M.N. Roy in 1920 in Tashkent and later in 1926 in India also. So that happened under M.N. Roy. M.N. Roy was the person who gave the idea of Constituent Assembly. Decision to hold civil services simultaneously at London and Delhi with effect from 1923. So under the 1919 Government of India Act, Lee Commission was also created, and on their recommendation, the civil services exams are now can be conducted in India. Lord Irwin, 1926 to 31. Appointment of Simon Commission in 1927, very important. We all have discussed about it. Lahore Session of Congress 1929, Poon Swaraj resolution was particularly passed, and on 26 January 1930, the first Independence Day was further celebrated. Dandi March was executed and was known as the Civil Disobedience Movement. It was against the salt law and was started by Gandhiji from Sabarmati Ashram. Then the Dipavali Declaration by Lord Irwin in 1929, and first roundtable conference was conducted, and in which Indian National Congress did not participate. Then Gandhi-Irwin Pact in March 1931, and under this the civil disobedience movement was called off, and Gandhiji accepted the invitation to go into the second roundtable conference. Appointment of Harcourt Butler Indian States Commission in 1927 regarding some guidance for the Indian states. Then Lord Willingdon, 1931 to 1936. Second and third roundtable conferences were held in London in St. James Palace, and the Prime Minister was Ramsay MacDonald at that time. The King was George V, and during this time, the second roundtable conference, Gandhiji was a person who participated, and again in third roundtable conference, Indian National Congress did not participate. Then Ramsay MacDonald announced the Communal Award, a particular type of separate electorate to be given to the depressed classes, as already was given to the Muslims, Christians, Anglo-Indians and other communities, and now will be given to the depressed classes. And as soon as it came, Gandhiji started hunger strike in Yerwada jail in Pune in 1932. And Government of India Act 1935 passed. It was the largest written constitution ever by Britishers in India. Then Indian Military Academy established in Dehradun and in 1932. Burma separated from India in 1935, and that was under the Government of India Act it was done. Let's read more. Lord Linlithgow, 1936 to 1943. First thing, on 1st of September 1939, the Second World War was started as soon as Germany attacked on Poland. Cripps Mission 1942, but before that, August Offer 1940 also came to please the people of this country of India so that they can help Britishers in World War. Then Cripps Mission was also sent to India by Sir Stafford Cripps. It was called a post-dated check by Gandhiji. Then Quit India movement was started in 1942, and after the August Offer, Gandhiji started individual satyagraha in 1940. Then Lord Wavell, 1943 to 1947. CR formula was given by C. Rajgopalachari so that a kind of a settlement can be done between the Indian National Congress and Muslim League regarding partition, and that was CR formula. Cabinet Mission 1946, it was the mission that was sent with the purpose to create Constituent Assembly. The members were Lord Pethick Lawrence, A.V. Alexander and Stafford Cripps. Pethick Lawrence was the chairman. Direct Action Day by Muslim League on 16th August 1946. As soon as the Muslim League lost elections of 1945-46 to become the majority in India, they declared 16th August 1946 as Direct Action Day, and after that the riots were started. First meeting of Constituent Assembly on 9 December 1946 under Sachidanand Sinha. Sachidanand Sinha was the temporary president. The original president was Rajendra Prasad but was not able to attend the first meeting. That is why Sachidanand Sinha took over. Further, about the Governor Generals again. So Lord Mountbatten, 1947 to 48. Why he has been called Governor General? Because he was the last Viceroy, and after him, particularly if we talk about, the position was changed and replaced, and Lord Mountbatten, who was the last Viceroy, he became the first Governor General of independent India. He was the last British Viceroy in India and first Governor General of India after independence. Announced 3rd June 1947 plan, also known as the June Plan or Mountbatten Plan, by which the bifurcation of India and Pakistan was done. Appointment of two boundary commissions under Sir Cyril Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe boundary is the name of India and Pakistan's boundary, and Sir Cyril Ratcliffe was the person who was responsible for it. Partition of India, and that happened under this plan. And also the 1947 Indian Independence Act was also passed under the guidance of Lord Mountbatten on 15th August 1947. Then C. Rajgopalachari was basically the first Indian Governor General of independent India, and he was the Governor General from 1948 to 1950. The last Governor General of India and independent India, I would say, and the first Indian Governor General of independent India. He remained in office from 21st June 1948 to 25th January 1950, and he was replaced by the President of India, that was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Let's read further. Now let's talk about some of the agrarian policies that were implemented by the British administration. So first one was permanent settlement, and it was introduced by Lord Cornwallis in 1793 in Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. The zamindars who earlier collected land revenue were recognized as landlords. The land revenues was fixed for years in a permanent basis. John Shore was associated with this system. So basically what was happening at that time, that zamindars were made responsible for collecting the revenue. And how the zamindars were chosen. So zamindars were chosen at that time on the basis of the bid that they can give, if which means that they will tell the government, they will tell the Britishers that how much revenue they can generate. On the basis of that, they were made the zamindars. And they have to divide the revenue into 11 factions. One they can keep with themselves as a salary, and the 10 they can particularly do give back to the Britishers. And if not given before sunset, then their sun will set on them. That is why it is also known as the sunset law. Rayatwadi system, it was connected to Thomas Munro and Captain Reed, remember that, and it was introduced in 1820. The land settlement in Madras and Bombay province was called Rayatwadi settlement. In this system, rent was directly settled with the Rayats. Rayats means farmers. So it was another type of system. Then came the Mehalwadi system. So basically remember, Rayatwadi system was in Madras and Bombay only. Then Mehalwadi system, it was introduced in 1822 by Holt Mackenzie. Started this system in Punjab, Central Province, Agra, Awadh and Delhi. So you can see that by the time they are expanding their empire, they are implementing the revenue settlements. Under this system, settlement were made estate by estate or village by village. The village community was the owner of the land and was called co-sharers, and they have to collect the revenue and share it with the Britishers. Further, list of some important slogans and statements given at that time. So here are some of the very important slogans. First is the back to Vedas. So that was given by Dayanand Saraswati. Also, I would like to add, he was the one who also called India for Indians, and he was also the one who kind of coined the word for this modern India, that is Swaraj. And other than that, he was also the one who started the Arya Samaj. Then Dilli Chalo was given by Subhash Chandra Bose as soon as he created the Indian National Army in Singapore. And Jai Hind was also given by Subhash Chandra Bose. And very important, give me blood and I will give you freedom was given by Subhash Chandra Bose. Then very important one, do or die was given by Mahatma Gandhi while launching the Quit India movement in 1942. Then came the my ultimate aim is to wipe every tear from every eye, Jawaharlal Nehru. And I would like to add one more here. One was also given by Curzon, and he said that it is my ultimate goal to see the end of Indian National Congress as soon as I am here in India. So this statement was given by Lord Curzon. Remember that. Let's read further. And some more slogans. Dead or doornail, that was given by Jawaharlal Nehru regarding August offer. Then Rowlatt Act is a preventive murder. It was said by Edwin Samuel Montego in favor of Rowlatt Act in 1919. Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. It was given by Bal Gangadhar Tilak, the most famous one. Let's read some more about Indian personalities. So Acharya Vinoba Bhave, and Acharya was the name given to Vinoba Bhave, and this was the term that was used for Vinoba Bhave. Vinoba Bhave was the first individual satyagrahi, and he was the one who also started the Bhudan Andolan. Then Desh Ratna and Ajat Shatru. These are the names basically given to Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Then Badshah Khan, Frontier Gandhi, very easy. Abdul Ghaffar Khan was the person who got this name. He started Red Shirt movement, Khudai Khidmatgar movement, and was the first non-Indian, or we can say first foreigner who got the Bharat Ratna. Then Bengal Kesari was the name given to Ashutosh Mukherjee. Then Bismarck of India, very easy, given to Vallabhbhai Patel because of his unification policies. And he was also known as the Iron Man of India. Biswa Kavi was given to Rabindranath Tagore. Then Rabindranath Tagore was also known as Gurudev. Deshbandhu, C.R. Das, Grand Old Man of India, Dadabhai Naroji. Then Gurudev, Rabindranath Tagore. Iron Man was given to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Let's read more. Lokmanya, very famous, given to Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Bal Gangadhar Tilak was also famous for being the part of extremist faction of Indian National Congress. Then Lok Nayak was the name of Jai Prakash Narayan, and he was also the one who started later in 1970s the Bihar movement. Mahamanna was the one who was the name given to Madan Mohan Malviya. Then Nightingale of India, very simple, Sarojini Naidu. Shahid-e-Azam was given to Bhagat Singh. Rajaji was the name given to C. Rajgopalachari, and Netaji was the name of Subhash Chandra Bose. Then Morning Star of India Renaissance was the name given to Rajaram Mohan Roy because of his social reform movements. Punjab Kesari was the name of Lala Lajpat Rai. Then let's talk about some of the books written by these freedom fighters. Mahatma Gandhi, M.K. Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, he wrote Harijan, Navjivan, and Hind Swaraj, and My Experiments with the Truth. So these are the books written by him. Then Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he wrote Gita Rahasya, very important, and the Orion, or researches into the antiquity of the Vedas, the Arctic home in the Vedas. Jawaharlal Nehru, Discovery of India, really important and very good book to read. Then Glimpses of World History, basically a type of letters being exchanged between Indira Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru, while Jawaharlal Nehru was in Ahmednagar jail since 1942 during the Quit India movement. And another one was Meri Kahani, also known as an autobiography. Then Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, he was the first education minister of our country. He wrote Al Hilal, India Wins Freedom, and Gubare Khatir. Then Lala Lajpat Rai, he wrote Unhappy India. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he wrote India Divided at the feet of Mahatma Gandhi, Satyagraha in Champaran. Then Surendranath Banerjee, he wrote A Nation in Making. Then Veer Savarkar, and the most famous book of him was The Indian War of Independence, related to 1857 revolt. Then Bhagat Singh, he wrote Why I Am an Atheist, very important book. Rabindranath Tagore, Gitanjali, for which he got Nobel Prize. Home and the World, Gora, Hungry Stones, Chandalika, Visarjan, The Crescent Moon. These are some of the works or literary works of Rabindranath Tagore, and many more are there. Madan Mohan Malviya, Abhyuday, and Hindustan and Leader. These are some of the books written by him. Gopal Krishna Gokhale wrote Nation. Let's read more. Indian Mirror and Vam Bodhini. These are two particular books written by Keshav Chandra Sen. Deen Bandhu Mitra, Neel Darpan. Muhammad Iqbal, Tarane Hind, Bange Dara. Annie Besant wrote Commonweal and New India. Muhammad Iqbal was also famous for writing the song Sare Jahan Se Acha. Then Subhash Chandra Bose wrote Indian Struggle and An Indian Pilgrim, very important. Then Muhammad Ali wrote Comrade and Hamdard. Raja Ram Mohan Roy wrote Tufat ul Muwahideen, A Gift of Theist, and Samvad Komdi. These are the books written by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Then Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, he wrote Som Prakash. Very important. He was the one who was responsible for taking out the 1856 Widow Remarriage Act with Lord Dalhousie. Motilal Nehru, he wrote Independent. Then Dadabhai Naoroji, Rast Guftagur, Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. Shishir Kumar Ghosh, Amrit Bazaar Patrika. Taraknath Das, Free Hindustan. Sachendranath Sanyal, The Revolutionary Bandi Jeevan, A Life of Captivity. Dayanand Saraswati, Satyarth Prakash, very important. Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay or Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, he wrote Bang Darshan, Anand Mat, Devi Chaudrani, Durgesh Nandani. Vande Mataram was taken from Anand Mat. Bhartendu Harish Chandra, he wrote Bharat Durdasha. Some other ones. Sarojini Naidu, The Golden Threshold, The Bird of Time, The Feather of the Dawn. Bhimrao Ambedkar, Annihilation of Caste, The Buddha and His Dhamma, Who Were the Shudras. Very important book. Sri Aurobindo or Aurobindo Ghosh, he wrote Love and Death, The Life Divine, Essays on the Gita, Savitri, A Legend and a Symbol. Jai Prakash Narayan, very important book, he wrote Why Socialism. Bhagwati Charan Vora, Philosophy of the Bomb, very important book, guys. Now let's talk about some committees and commissions of India in India before independence. So Wood's Dispatch, very important one, known as the Magna Carta of Indian education system. In 1854, Lord Dalhousie was the Governor General and education was the purpose. Then Hunter Commission, 1882, Lord Ripon, and was related to education. Campbell Commission, 1866, and was under Sir John Lawrence, related to famine. Starkey Commission, 1880, Lord Lytton, famine. Lyell Commission, 1886, Lord Dufferin, famine. Then Raleigh Commission, 1902, Lord Curzon, education. Sadler Commission, 1917, Lord Chelmsford, education. Hartog Commission, and 1929, Lord Irwin, education. Some more. Sargent Plan, 1944, Lord Webble, education. MacDonnell Commission, 1900, Lord Curzon, famine. Mansfield Commission, 1886, Lord Dufferin, currency. Fowler Committee, 1898, Lord Elgin, 2, currency. Fraser Commission, 1902, Lord Curzon, agriculture. Babington Smith Commission, 1919, Lord Chelmsford, currency. Hunter Committee Report, 1919, Lord Chelmsford, Punjab disturbances. Mudiman Committee, 1924, Lord Reading, examining the working of diarchy, Montague Chelmsford reforms. Butler Commission, 1927, Lord Irwin, Indian States. Whitley Commission, 1929, Lord Irwin, Labour. Simon Commission, 1928, Lord Irwin, to investigate the purpose of the governance scheme and suggest new steps for reforms. And on their recommendation, 1835 Government of India Act came. Then Sapru Commission, 1935, Lord Linlithgow, unemployment. Hilton Young Commission, 1926, Lord Reading, currency. Chetfield Commission, 1939, Lord Linlithgow, army. Flood Commission, 1940, Lord Linlithgow, tenancy in Bengal. Let's read more. Landholders Society, 1838, Dwarka Nath Tagore, Calcutta. British India Society, 1839, William Adam, London. Bengal British Indian Society, 1843, George Thompson, Calcutta. British India Association, 1851, Radha Kant Deb, Calcutta. East India Association, 1866, Dadabhai Naoroji, London. Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, 1867, M.G. Ranade, Maharashtra. National Indian Association, 1867, Mary Carpenter, London. Indian Society, 1872, Anand Mohan Bose, London. Indian Association, 1876, Anand Mohan Bose and Surendranath Banerjee, Calcutta. Indian National Conference, 1883, Surendranath Banerjee, Calcutta. Madras Mahajan Sabha 1884, V. Raghavachari, S. Iyer and P. Anand Charlu, Madras. So these are some other organizations other than Indian National Congress. Remember some of them that are really important, like East India Association is most important one. Then Indian National Conference, it was also important. And other than that, Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, also important. Some other organizations as well. Bombay Presidency Association 1885, Firoz Shah Mehta, K.T. Telang, Badruddin Tayabji, Bombay. Indian National Congress 1885, A.O. Hume, Bombay. Servants of Indian Society 1905, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Bombay. Home Rule League 1916, Annie Besant and B.G. Tilak, Pune. Uttar Pradesh Kisan Sabha 1918, Indra Narayan, Malviya and Gauri Shankar, Lucknow. Communist Party of India 1925, M.N. Roy, Kanpur. Awadh Kisan Sabha 1920, Ramchandra Nehru, Gauri Shankar, Pratapgarh. Indian Trade Union Congress 1920, founder M.N. Joshi, President Lala Lajpat Rai, Bombay. Swaraj Party, very important, 1923, Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das, Delhi. Some other. Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, very important, 1925, K.B. Head Giver, Nagpur. Khudai Khidmatgar, Red Shirt Movement, 1929, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, also known as Frontier Gandhi, Peshawar. Congress Socialist Party, 1934, Acharya Narendra Dev and Jayaprakash Narayan. Then All India Kisan Sabha, 1936, N.G. Ranga and Shah Jahanand, Lucknow. Forward Bloc, 1939, Subhash Chandra Bose, Calcutta. And Radical Democratic Party, 1940, M.N. Roy, Calcutta. Now some important newspapers of that time. Bengal Gazette, James Augustus Hickey, 1780, Calcutta. It was written in English. Samachar Darpan, John Clark Marshman, 1818, Calcutta, Bengali. Digdarshan, John Clark Marshman, 1818, Calcutta, Bengali. Samvat Kaumdi, important, Rajaram Mohan Roy, 1821, Calcutta, Bengali. Mirat ul Akhbar, very important, Rajaram Mohan Roy, 1822, Calcutta, Persian. Bombay Samachar, Pardunji Marzban, 1822, Bombay, English and Gujarati. Rast Guftar, Dadabhai Naroji, 1851, Bombay, Gujarati. Satya Prakash Karsandas Bolji, 1852, Ahmedabad, Gujarati. Bombay Darpan, Bal Shastri Jambekar, 1832, Bombay, Marathi. Indu Prakash Ranade, 1861, Bombay, Marathi. Indian Mirror, Devendranath Tagore, 1862, Calcutta, English. Native Opinion, and V.N. Manglik, 1864, Bombay, English. And Amrit Bajar Patrika, Sisir Kumar Ghosh and Motilal Ghosh, Calcutta, 1868, Bengali, English. Some more. Som Prakash, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, really important, 1859, Calcutta, Bengali. The Hindu, very important one, G. Subramanya Iyer, 1878, Madras, English. Kesari, Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak, 1881, Bombay, Marathi. And Maratha, Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak, 1881, Bombay, English. So do remember this one. This may create confusion. Then Bengali, Surendranath Banerjee, 1879, Calcutta, English. Kavi Vachan Sudha, Bhartendu Harish Chandra, 1867, UP, Hindi. Young India, Mahatma Gandhi, 1919, Ahmedabad, English. Navjeevan, Mahatma Gandhi, 1919, Ahmedabad, Hindi, Gujarati. Harijan, Mahatma Gandhi, 1933, Pune, Hindi, Gujarati. Indian Opinion, Mahatma Gandhi, 1903, South Africa, English. Then Hindu Patriot, Harish Chandra Mukherjee, 1855, Calcutta, English. Now let's read some particular topics that are need to be revised. Swami Vivekananda attended the Parliament of the World Religions in America in the year of 1893, that was in Chicago. J.B. Kriplani was the president of Indian National Congress at the time of Mountbatten Plan was accepted and also at the time of independence. Sare Jahan Se Acha was written by Muhammad Iqbal. Indian Trade Union Congress was founded on 31st October 1920 with Lala Lajpat Rai as its president, first president. Dadabhai Naoroji prepared the first estimates of national income of India. Mir Zafar betrayed Siraj-ud-Daulah in the Battle of Plassey in 1757. 1799, Savai Pratap Singh constructed Hawa Mahal in Jaipur. The Bangladesh Liberation War ended on 16 December 1971. Sepoy Mutiny started from Meerut on 10th May 1857. The Battle of Goa was occurred in 1510 between Portuguese Empire and Bijapur Sultanate by Governor of Portuguese Albuquerque. Another one, Lothal is located in coastal areas of Gujarat and it was major port city of Indus Valley civilization. And if we talk about, this was the artificial dockyard. Lord William Bentinck was the first Governor General of British India in 1833 Charter Act. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was the leader of Bardoli Satyagraha, after which he got the name Sardar. The Pune Pact was signed between Mahatma Gandhi and Bhim Rao Ambedkar on 24th September 1932. The Sati system was abolished by Lord William Bentinck in 1829. During their rule, the British persuaded or forced cultivators to produce jute in Bengal, tea in Assam, sugarcane in Uttar Pradesh, wheat in Punjab, cotton in Maharashtra and Punjab, and rice in Madras. Indian Mughal paintings originated during the rule of Mughal Emperor Humayun. During the Mughal period, the official and court languages was Persian. Shah Jahan was imprisoned for the rest of his life by Aurangzeb in 1658. Some other. Simon Commission came to India in 1928 to reform India's constitutional system. Gol Gumbaz is located in Karnataka, largest dome in India. Dhamek Stoop was built by Emperor Ashok of the Maurya dynasty. The first Buddhist council was held at Rajgriha. First Battle of Panipat was fought between the army of Babur and Ibrahim Lodi in 1526. The Upanishads are the source of Hindu philosophy. English education was introduced in India by Macaulay. Mahatma Gandhi gave the title of Mahamanna to Madan Mohan Malviya. Lord Linlithgow was the viceroy of the time of Quit India movement. Madan Mohan Malviya take loans for financing the Hindustan Times from Punjab National Bank that was founded by Lala Lajpat Rai. Rowlatt Act 1919 was enacted during the period of Lord Chelmsford. In the year of 1991, Soviet Union disintegrated into 15 independent republics. Let's read some more. Buddha Dham Sangh, together known as Three Ratna, related to Buddhism. Pulkeshin II was the greatest ruler of Chalukya dynasty, also defeated Harshvardhan. The founder of the Lodi dynasty was Balol Lodi. Iltutmish was the first ruler to issue pure Arabic coins in India. The Treaty of Srirangpattam or Srirangpatnam is associated with the Third Anglo-Mysore War. The Gandharv School of Art is also known as the Buddhist Roman art. Another one was the Mathura School of Art. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the Sultan in Delhi at time of Vijayanagar Empire was founded in 1336. Jawaharlal Nehru established the Indian Civil Liberties Union in 1936. The title Sardar was given to Vallabhbhai Patel by the peasants and women of Bardoli village. Flag Satyagraha was held at Nagpur in 1923. Multan was named by the Arabs as the city of gold because the first Arab conqueror was Muhammad bin Qasim in 713. Uraun tribes is associated with the Tana Bhagat movement. Shahid Bhagat Singh founded the Naujawan Bharat Sabha. Some more. Rashtrakuta King Krishna I built the Kailash Nath temple at Ellora. The Battle of Buxar was fought between British East India Company and Mir Qasim, 1764. Lord Lytton passed the Vernacular Press Act, Gagging Act and the Arms Act of 1878. Lord Mayo was the only viceroy in India to be murdered in office. 1939, Subhash Chandra Bose was elected as the president of the Congress party, defeating Pattabhi Sitaramaiah, later resigned. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was the founder of Brahmo Samaj. The famous book Gulamgiri was written by Jyotiba Phulle. Kamrup is an ancient name of Karnataka. Akbar introduced Mansabdari system in India 1571. Battle of Talikota led to the downfall of the Vijayanagar Empire 1565. Harshvardhan shifted his capital from Thaneshwar to Kannauj. The first Muslim to be elected president of Indian National Congress was Badruddin Tayyabji, 1887 Madras session. Another one. The Ellora Caves were designated as the UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983. Rana Sanga has built the Vijay Stambh Tower of Victory in Chittorgarh. Sachindranath Sanyal was sent to the dreaded cellular jail in Port Blair for his involvement in Kakori train robbery. Sahanama, written by Firdausi. Rayatwadi system was introduced by Thomas Munro in 1820. The National Archives of India is located in New Delhi. The British officer who ended the menace of Thug was William Slimon. Chittaranjan Das defended Aurobindo Ghosh in the Alipur bomb conspiracy case, also known as Muzaffarpur bomb conspiracy case 1908. Dadabhai Naoroji in his Poverty and Un-British Rule in India and explained how the English rulers were different from the earlier invaders. The Battle of Plassey was fought in 1757. Madam Kama, known as the mother of Indian revolutionaries. Some more. The leader of revolt of 1857 in Lucknow was Begum Hazrat Mahal, the wife of Wajid Ali Shah. Lord Cornwallis introduced permanent settlement in 1793. Lord Wavell convened the Shimla Conference in 1945. Individual Satyagraha began on 17 October 1940. The two-nation theory was propounded in Lahore session 1940 of the Muslim League. The word was given by Chaudhry Rahmat Ali. INA trials held at the Red Fort, New Delhi. The Cripps mission visited India during the regime of Lord Linlithgow. Usha Mehta ran an underground radio station at Bombay during the Quit India movement. Indian National Army was originally founded by Captain Mohan Singh in Singapore in September 1942 with the help of Japan. Mahatma Gandhi gave the call do or die during the Quit India movement. Satyendranath Tagore, the elder brother of poet Rabindranath Tagore, was the first Indian to pass ICS examination in 1863. Some more. Rayatwadi system was introduced by Thomas Munro and Captain Reed in 1820. Major areas of introduction of Rayatwadi system included Madras, Bombay, parts of Assam, Coorg, provinces of British India. Mahalwadi system, a brainchild of Holt Mackenzie, was modified version of Zamindari settlement introduced in the Ganga Valley, the northwestern provinces, parts of central India and Punjab in 1822. Lord William Bentinck was to suggest radical changes in the Mahalwadi system by the guidance of Robert Martins Bird in 1833. The first political murder of a European was committed in 1897 at Pune by the Chapekar brothers, Damodar and Balkishan. Their target was Mr. Rand, president of the Plague Commission, but Lieutenant Ayazd was accidentally shot. Mangal Pandey revolted in Barakpur near Calcutta in 1857. Some more. Prayag Prashasti, it is a pillar inscription of Samudragupta found at Allahabad and written in Sanskrit. It was composed by Harishen. Famous eras. Vikram era or Vikram Sambat, that was 57 BC. Sak era, 78 AD, started by Kanishk. Gupt era, 319 AD, that was started by Chandragupta first, 319 to 320 AD. Hijra era, 622 AD. Kolam era, 825 AD. And Ilahi era, related to Akbar, started in 1583 AD with Deen-e-Ilahi. And that's it in this session, guys. I hope you learned a lot of things with me in this session of history. The next time we will meet, we will discuss more. Till the time we meet, bye bye. Take care, everyone, and see you soon.